Right, a little more than a week after the first 2020 presidential debates, several candidates this week headed to New Orleans to make a direct appeal to black women voters. Now, at the 25th anniversary Essence Fest, 5 Democratic contenders for the White House are vying to support, or for the support of that critical voting bloc. Now, the festival is the creation of Essence Magazine, which is a monthly magazine geared towards African American women. Now, the event is expected to draw 500,000 attendees to the Crescent City, and Senators Cory Booker, Kamala Harris, Elizabeth Warren, South Bend, Indiana, and Mayor Pete Buttigieg and former Republican Beto O'Rourke will all speak at the festival's keynote, which will be followed by a Q&A session. Oh my, accountability. Which will be led, unfortunately, not by the people, but Al Sharpton. That'll be nice and fair then. Essence CEO Michelle Ebanks and Essence Ventures founder and chair Richelio Dennis. In my opinion, residents should not turn up. No one should turn up. And let them know they're not wanted. You know, these people are energy and dollar harvesters. That's all they are. And it's the only reason that they are there. They turn up when it's election time, make all kinds of promises and do nothing. Or the opposite. And it's about time the people started to see through that illusion program. One's better than the other. No, they're no difference. You know, from Russia with Love 5, which we did this week, told you they operate both sides. It's all part of the game. Well, you know, these people are not interested in black, male or female. As the next piece rolls in, one of those people who turned up or will be turning up is Senator Kamala Harris. All about the black women, you see. And yet her father this week revealed that his presidential hopeful daughter is descended from a Jamaican plantation slave owner's family. Oops. Donald Harris, who's an economics professor at Stanford University, is Jamaican. And in an essay this week published in Jamaica Global Online, he revealed his family's history. And an excerpt of the essay, which was titled Reflections of a Jamaican Father, stated, "My roots go back within my lifetime to my paternal grandmother, Miss Chrissy Nee Christiana Brown, descendant of Hamilton Brown, who is on record as a plantation and slave owner and the founder of Brownstown." I bet she didn't want to reveal that. Pedophiles have now renamed themselves as minor attracted persons in order to try and get acceptance and inclusion into the LGBTQ X, Y, and Z community. And the dictionary defines minor attracted persons known as MAPs. Personally, I think some of them should be wiped off the map, but that's my opinion. As a blanket term that includes infantophiles, a person attracted to infants, pedophiles, a person attracted to prepubescent children, hebephiles, a person attracted to pubescent children, and ephebophiles, a person attracted to post-pubescent children. There are also NOMAPs, NOMAPs, or non-offending minor attracted persons who reportedly don't act on their attractions. And they stated just because someone is attracted to a child does not mean they are automatically going to sexually abuse them, according to the Prevention Project. And they're using this new term in order to distance themselves from the toxicity of the connotation of the word pedophile. MAP, pedophile, it's very different. Not really. and become part of the LGBT community. Obviously, the Q has been missed off. And the MAP community claims that pedophiles are misunderstood, marginalised people, much like the LGBT community. And they've even created a flag for Gay Pride Month. For an example, they told the story of John, who is not a child molester, nor is he a sex offender. He has an attraction to children. John was suicidal and bullied, but his therapist, or the rapist, said he wouldn't treat sex offenders after John told him about his attraction. And the Prevention Project insists that John deserves support too, because he's having an attraction. Having an attraction is not the issue. Acting on one's attraction is. Now, a group of mental health professionals created B4U-Act in 2003 to help mental health professionals learn more about attraction to minors and consider the effects of stereotyping, stigma and fear. And also back in 2010, 2 Canadian psychologists said that pedophilia is a sexual orientation. True pedophiles have an exclusive preference for children, which is the same as having any other sexual orientation. They stated, you cannot change this person's sexual orientation. He may, however, remain abstinent. That's according to Van Giesenhem, a psychologist and a retired University of Montreal professor. Like I said, we're going to run out of alphabet letters. This is getting beyond a joke. There are serious issues that apply here to the lesbian, gay, transsexual community. But on the one hand, they can't. There's this dichotomy going on where they want to be just accepted into the community, but at the same time, they're waving flags in people's face. It's not going to work. There's a lot of people who are religious, their choice, who, because of the Bible, detest anything that is gay. You're not going to convince them by shoving flags in their face or parading down the centre of the street. You're just not. This is a serious issue. I do see both sides of it. If someone has an issue with it and is not acting on it, then those people need help. But applying a label to those people does not fix the issue. It creates another divide and conquer. And again, these people have to start thinking properly. We're just totting up labels. Labels save no one. That just puts you into a tiny box, and that is what you are. Like I said in a previous show, you're not the people say to you, what do you do for a living? Like it defines you. When people really understand their own power and their own life force energy, being defined on sexuality, colour, gender, or what job they do is beyond ridiculous. These people need help, not labels. On Tuesday, I don't know, this Senator Wilson, Frederica Wilson, another clown, went with other members of Congress allegedly to tour a detention facility for illegal immigrants. And during a press conference following the tour, Wilson made a rather interesting comment. Apparently, she believes anyone who makes fun of members of Congress on the internet should be prosecuted. A quote, Those people who are online making fun of members of Congress are a disgrace, and there's no need for anyone to think that that is not unacceptable. And she went on, so we're going to shut them down and work with whoever it is to shut them down, and they should be prosecuted. You cannot intimidate members of Congress, threaten members of Congress. Oh, it's all right for AIPAC to do it, but not the people? Really? Oops. And it is against the law in the United States of America, according to Representative Frederica Wilson, who's a Democrat. I wonder, crime is it throwing barbs, and I wonder what crime it is of throwing barbs at the president, and no one says anything. It's okay to throw all kinds of shite at the president, but if the public throw it back via the internet, that's not acceptable. So it works both ways. But making fun of people, lady, you accuse us accusing us of making fun. Oh dear. Well, if you and your ilk make yourselves daily figures of fun by acting childlike in the bills you create, childlike arguing within meetings, childlike voting of being deliberately obstinate based on party lines, have politicians creating bills where it's a crime to masturbate, yet the jizz woman from Texas, and others throwing legalised pedophile bills in, voting yourselves pay rises, whilst then enhancing your own stupidity of not understanding a single thing about how this country really works, then you will remain a figure of fun. It's that simple. But freedom of speech, that lady needs to learn her constitution, and yes, our show no, it doesn't really exist. These people don't. You are supposed to abide by it. And it's about as stupid as AOC, who couldn't even name the 3 branches of government she's working in. Or acting, as the case may be. Because most of you act like clowns, and clowns can make people laugh at them, but they can also make people cry. And I would cry at the staggering levels of ignorance, stupidity, intolerance and empathy which all politicians clearly lack towards the people. The same people who pay for you to supposedly run this country. Run the country. Half of you are too fat, too old and too stupid to run anything. Let's get it right. These are the facts. And whether you're male or female or some other expanding alphabet letter these days, you need to grow a set and actually do something of value for and by the people. Until then, you will remain as on this stage as a figure of fun. But word of warning, Mrs. Wilson, be careful what you ask for, lady, as what happens if the laughter dies out? Anger will be directed at you all. Then you might have something to really worry about and focus on. 2 more news pieces to throw in, and then we'll go into a few Q&A, and then sub-intel, and then some hammers in the intel. Oh no, we've got another piece before that. Oh well. For the last 16 years, and this is the example of the stupidity of clowns like these senators who make rules up. No benefit for them by the people. But for the last 16 years, a Kentucky church member has been given away prescription glasses to the poor. And his program called Kendall Optometry Ministry has become so successful, it has helped thousands of people across 79 countries. But now the state says the programme is illegal and wants Holland Kendall, the president of Kendall Optometry Ministry, to meet optical standards or close. No, they need a pair of glasses to see what they're actually doing and saying. Kendall said he's been helping homeless people for the past 30 years and got the idea during a mission trip to Honduras. And since 2003, he's given away thousands of used eyeglasses as part of an extension of Fern Creek Baptist Church in Louisville. But the Kentucky Board of Who Need Glasses Examiners and the Kentucky Board of Ophthalmic Dispensers claim the practice is illegal because the glasses are not new, first quality, and made to meet the individual personal prescriptions, according to them. And yet every person who visits the free clinics has their eyes measured, and through a computer program which was developed by Kendall, gets a list of gently used glasses that match that person's prescription. Oops. Now, according to its website, the ministry provides equipment, supplies, computer software, training classes and training literature. And he said youth missionaries help him clean and cull the glasses. You know, this is what happens to people who try to help. And it's why there's so few. Because you come up not only against clowns sitting on boards or governments, but even the very people around don't support it enough. It's unbelievable. There was a dangerous flash flood emergency that hit Washington on Monday, with up to 3 inches of heavy rain falling in the region, according to the National Weather Service. And the area was seeing significant flash flooding, and travel will be kind of dangerous. And they warned to stay out of low areas. If in a low area that may flood, seek higher ground. Stay off the roads if at all possible. And they said this is not the usual flooding, whatever that means. Well, I think we know what that means. Now, the downpour even affected the White House basement. When you add in the flash flood warning in Virginia as well, perhaps the swamp is bubbling up symbolically. Maybe when it bubbles in New York, we might get what we're looking for.